The first thing I noticed about the house was the quiet. Not the peaceful kind, the kind you get in the countryside where silence feels wide and open. This quiet was tight, pressed, like the air itself was holding its breath. I arrived just before dusk, the sky a bruised purple, the last light bleeding through a line of dead trees. The road that led to the property was barely a road at all, more a scar in the earth, chewed up by years of rain and neglect. My car complained the whole way, tires slipping over wet leaves, branches scraping the doors like fingernails. I almost turned back. I should have. The listing had been strange from the start. No photos of the interior, no contact name, just an email address that looked auto-generated. The rent was absurdly cheap for a fully furnished house sitting alone on 10 acres of land. The only condition, no guests, no pets, and no questions. I told myself it was an estate situation. Old owner, no heirs. Someone just wanted the place occupied so it wouldn't rot. That was the lie I chose. The house emerged from the trees slowly, like it was being assembled piece by piece as I approached. 2 stories, white paint long since turned the color of old teeth. Windows dark, unreflective. The porch sagged in the middle, and the front door stood slightly ajar. I sat in the car for a full minute, hands on the steering wheel, listening to the engine tick as it cooled. No wind, no birds, no insects. Just that quiet. When I finally stepped out, the smell hit me first. Damp wood, mold, and something faintly metallic. Blood has a smell, but this wasn't fresh. It was old, like a memory of blood. The key was taped to the inside of the mailbox, exactly where the email said it would be. Welcome home. Inside, the house was colder than it should have been. Not drafty cold, but refrigerated, like the air had been sealed in overnight and never warmed again. My breath fogged faintly. The furniture was outdated but clean. Floral couch, heavy oak table, a grandfather clock in the corner of the living room, its pendulum frozen mid-swing. Every sound I made felt wrong, too loud. My footsteps echoed longer than they should have, stretching out behind me like something following. I did a quick walkthrough, telling myself it was just nerves. Kitchen, functional, though the fridge hummed louder than necessary. Dining room, table set for 4, plates dusty but neatly arranged. That bothered me. Upstairs, 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. The bathroom mirror was spotted with age, but when I leaned closer, I noticed something etched faintly into the glass, as if someone had written it with a fingernail long ago. Don't breathe too deep. I laughed, too loudly. The sound bounced back at me, wrong and hollow. Very funny, I said to no one. I wiped the mirror with my sleeve. The words didn't fade. That was the first night I dreamed of the walls breathing. Sleep came in fragments. Every time I drifted off, I felt watched, not from a single direction, but from everywhere at once, like the house itself was aware of my presence, adjusting around me. Sometime after midnight, I awoke to a sound. Inhale. Exhale. Slow, deep, too close. I held my breath, heart pounding. The sound stopped immediately, as if whatever was making it had noticed. Minutes passed, maybe hours. When I finally exhaled, the breathing resumed, now directly beneath me. I didn't sleep again. Daylight made things better. It always does. Sunlight filled the rooms, chased shadows into corners, made the house feel merely old instead of alive. I explored the property, found a collapsed shed at a dry well sealed with concrete. The forest surrounding the land was dense, trees growing too close together, their branches interlocking overhead. No birds nested there, no animal tracks crossed the soil. By afternoon, I'd convinced myself the night was stress, imagination fueled by isolation. Then I noticed the clock. The grandfather clock was ticking. I was certain it hadn't been the night before. I stood in front of it, watching the pendulum swing back and forth, back and forth. The sound was steady, comforting in a way. Tick, tick, tick. At exactly 3:17 p.m., it stopped. The house went quiet again. Too quiet. That night, I didn't go to bed. I stayed on the couch, lights on, television playing static because I couldn't find a single channel. Around 2 a.m., the air pressure changed. My ears popped. The breathing started again. This time, it wasn't beneath me. It was inside the walls. I pressed my ear against the plaster. The sound was wet, labored, like lungs full of fluid, moving, circling the room. "Hello?" I whispered. The breathing paused. Then something whispered back. Not words, just my own breath, echoed perfectly, played back to me a half-second late. I left the couch and ran upstairs, locking myself in the bathroom. The mirror was fogged over, though the room was cold. A handprint slowly appeared in the steam, from the inside. I tried to leave the next morning. The car wouldn't start. No lights, no engine turnover. Dead. My phone had no signal, though it worked fine the day before. Even the emergency call screen refused to load, frozen like the house itself. That was when I noticed the smell was stronger. Metallic, rotting. It was coming from the walls. I tore into the plaster with a kitchen knife, my hands shaking. The blade sank in too easily. Behind the wall wasn't insulation. It was flesh, pale, stretching, contracting, breathing. I stumbled back, screaming, and the wall sealed itself shut, the cut closing like a healing wound. The house sighed, satisfied. The email arrived at noon. Subject: rules. Do not open the walls again. Do not leave after dark. If the house breathes, breathe with it. At the bottom, thank you for helping us live. I vomited in the sink. The sink gurgled back, choking as if mimicking me. By evening, I understood Rule 3. When the breathing started, the pressure in my chest grew unbearable. Every breath I took that didn't match the house felt wrong, painful. My lungs burned until I synced my breathing with the rhythm in the walls. In, out. The pain faded. The house warmed. Days passed, maybe weeks. Time slipped. The clock ticked only when I obeyed. Food appeared in the fridge, tasteless but filling. The mirrors stopped showing my reflection correctly. Sometimes I blinked and saw the house instead. Hallways where my eyes were, doors opening and closing where my mouth was. I stopped trying to escape. The house stopped hurting me. One night, as I lay on the floor, breathing in perfect unison, I realized the truth. The house wasn't alive. It was made of lives. Layered, compressed. People like me who needed cheap rent, who ignored the warnings, who stayed. We weren't trapped inside it. We were becoming it. This morning, I heard a car on the road. A young couple stepped onto the porch, laughing nervously. I tried to scream, to warn them, but my mouth wouldn't open. The front door creaked wider on its own. The quiet tightened. The house inhaled, and I breathed with it.